Clone Wars Season 3 gets a release date, and San Diego Comic-Con collector exclusives continue to rain down. It's Friday, June 24th, and you'll hear about those stories and more this week in Star Wars. This Week in Star Wars is your source for new and noteworthy developments from the galaxy far, far away. I'm your host, Matt Fox. And now, this week's lead story. As one might have expected, Clone Wars Season 3 will be following in the traditions of Seasons 1 and 2 by being released on home video in October, just in time for the next season. According to Lucasfilm, October 18th will be the release date for all 22 episodes of Season 3 on both DVD and BluRay. This release date gives Star Wars fans just a month to absorb the original 6 live-action films on Blu-ray following their release in September. As with Seasons 1 and 2, Season 3, which features Anakin on the cover, will include a number of featurettes as well as additional databank bonus materials. The set is available for pre-order on Amazon.com, as well as a number of other sites, and we encourage you to use the This Week in Star Wars Amazon link found on the thisweekinstarwars.com homepage. Additional details on the bonus features, as well as a picture of the box, are available at starwars.com. Speaking of the upcoming Blu-ray release of the original films, starwars.com has begun releasing promotional materials. The past week has seen the release of 2 short interview segments, one featuring Ewan McGregor and the second with composer John Williams, which we can only assume are probably excerpts from a bonus feature on the Blu-ray set. These can be seen at play.com, website of the British media marketer, or on their Facebook page. Yet more Star Wars on the small screen news this week, as an interview has surfaced on CNN.com of George Lucas and Disney CEO Bob Iger during the promotion for the launch of the Star Tours ride at Disney World in Orlando. What set this interview apart from the multitude of other interviews given during the press promotion for the new ride was the fact that during the interview, Lucas made reference to working on a new television show entitled Star Wars Detours. Unfortunately, but not surprisingly, CNN interviewer Becky Anderson did not realize what she had just stumbled into and let the reference pass unremarked. Dedicated listeners to This Week in Star Wars may remember that the title Star Wars Detours did come up briefly in February, although again at that time there was no elaboration on what it referred to. Conventional wisdom would point to the Seth Green vehicle, which was announced some time ago, but until there is official clarification from the Presidio, let the speculation begin. A link to the interview is available on the thisweekinstarwars.com Facebook page. In the meantime, Seth Green fans will have to satisfy themselves with the upcoming release of Star Wars Robot Chicken Episode 3 on DVD and Blu-ray on July the 12th. With San Diego Comic-Con now less than a month away, many Star Wars licensees are announcing additional exclusives. This week was Gentle Giant's turn at bat, as they have thus far announced 2 Star Wars exclusives that will be available at the show. The first is the vinyl-caped variation of their jumbo-sized Jawa action figure vintage reproduction. As any good vintage snob out there knows, the original Jawa action figure produced by Kenner in 1978 featured a vinyl cape similar to that used on the Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader, but was quickly replaced with the cloth cape that many of us are more familiar with. The previously announced Jawa Jumbo action figure reproduction features that cloth cape, which makes this vinyl version not at all surprising, but nonetheless welcome. Gentle Giant also announced that they will be continuing their Macquarie concept mini-busts, this year featuring a Macquarie concept snow trooper from The Empire Strikes Back. Both items were available for Premier Guild members to pre-order in advance of the show, although the Jawa, limited to 1,000 pieces, is listed as sold out on the website. The Snowtrooper is limited to a more generous 1,800 and is still available for pre-order, again for Premier Guild members only at this time. While it is not explicitly stated on the Gentle Giant website, it is most likely safe to assume that the majority of both production runs were set aside for Comic-Con attendees. Hasbro hasn't announced it yet, but if you live in Australia, you can buy it. It being the vintage-boxed Y-Wing fighter. Marked on the box as a Toys R Us exclusive, Sweet Lady H has still yet to confirm that the Y-Wing will be coming to the States. Until that announcement is made, most likely at Comic-Con next month, you can visit mousedroid.com for pictures of the exclusive Down Under. If you like to frustrate yourself and break things, LEGO has a new product for you. It is the Super Star Destroyer, the next entry in the Ultimate Collector's Series Star Wars line. The Super Star Destroyer will be available later this year and was unveiled at Brick World last weekend. It has over 3,000 pieces and will retail for 1 cent less than $400. It will no doubt be a LEGO store exclusive and includes several minifigures including Dengar IG-88, Bosk, Admiral Ozzel, and Darth Vader himself. Check out brothers-brick.com for photos of the huge set. The second wave of vintage-packed 3-pack reproductions that are probably hanging on your Target pegs right now will not be the last. Images of the packs were posted on a German Star Wars collecting website, and I will not insult our listeners in the Bundesrepublik by trying to pronounce the name of the website, but I will post a link on This Week in Star Wars Facebook page. As with the prior two waves, these sets contain primarily repacked figures and consists of an android set featuring C-3PO, R2-D2, and everyone's favorite android Chewbacca. There is an Imperial Forces set featuring Bosk, IG-88, and a Snowtrooper, and then simply an Imperial set featuring the AT-AT driver, Dengar, and an Imperial commander, which actually appears to be kit-bashed from existing figures and is therefore possibly technically a new figure, depending upon your point of view. No word on when the figures will be hitting targets, but keep your ears pointed in the direction of San Diego later in July. This week's publishing news. At your local comic book shop this week is Star Wars The Dark Side number 2. This continues the 5-part miniseries detailing the adventures of Qui-Gon Jinn and his pre-Obi-Wan Padawan, Xanatos. Also available this week from DK Publishing was the Star Wars Character Encyclopedia, featuring photos and brief descriptions of many of the characters from the prequels and original trilogy. The book is widely available in bookstores and on online retailers at the cheap for a hardcover price of under $10. If that's about $490 less than you wanted to spend, Lucas Books would like to talk to you about Star Wars The Blueprints. Coming this fall from regular Star Wars author J.W. Rensler, in a number of reproductions of the original blueprints created for the production of the Star Wars saga and found in the Lucasfilm archives. According to the announcement, which can be found on StarWars.com, the blueprints will feature over 250 technical drawings for both vehicles and locales, some of which did not make the actual films. The 35-pound, 15 by 18-inch volume comes with a clamshell, over 500 photographs, and 10 gatefold pages. Each copy will be individually numbered and is limited to 5,000 copies in the English language and will be available this November. The first 150 copies will be signed by the 3 surviving Best Art Direction Academy Award winners from the original film, although those copies carry the premium price of $1,000. So, if you're done reading your copy of Frames, you can go to theblueprintsbook.com and place your order today. Star Wars Galaxies, the massively multiplayer online role-playing game, turned 8 years old on June 23rd. To honor this milestone, Sony Online Entertainment, which operates the game, announced that it will not live to see its 9th anniversary. According to the Sony Online Entertainment release, Star Wars Galaxies will go dark on December the 15th, giving the impending and inevitable but uncertain future release of the Star Wars The Old Republic MMORPG. The closure of Star Wars Galaxy had to be considered an inevitable event. The end of the online era will be marked with a number of fan appreciation promotions and a, quote, galaxy-ending in-game event beginning in December. Lastly, this week, it is with a sense of regret that I announce that the Star Wars Happy Meal promotion appears to be returning to McDonald's. No word on what the premiums are or when the promotion will begin exactly, but the current promotion is slated to run until July 7th, so expect it sometime in the middle of next month. I'm loving it. Here is a depressing fact. I've gone in at least 10,000 different stores in the past several years with the purpose of looking for Star Wars toys. Yep, 10,000, and that's a conservative estimate. You'd think that realization alone would be enough to make me stop going on toy runs, but it's not. What's enough to make me stop going on toy runs is Hasbro's incredibly bungled distribution system. Now, this is not the first time that we've gone the better part of half a year without anything new in the stores. It's almost become something of a tradition in the past few years. But in the previous years, we were told to expect this drought. This year, however, we were told quite the opposite. The report of the occasional store find on the other side of the country and online retailers clearly indicate that there is new product out there. It's just not getting to us. So I've liberated myself from the need to stop at a Target on the way into work or a Walmart on the way home. It was weird the first few days, but now it feels nice. Was that what you wanted, Hasbro? And that was This Week in Star Wars. Join us again next week for more news, notes, and developments from the galaxy far, far away. Visit our website, www.thisweekinstarwars.com, or if you're in a hurry, www.twisw.com. There you can find past episodes, links to some of the stories we discussed, as well as photo galleries and other interesting Star Wars-related tidbits. You can also find links to the other realms of the This Week in Star Wars media empire, including our breaking news Twitter feed, our Facebook page, as well as links to email addresses where you can contact the show. If you have questions or comments or news suggestions, we encourage you to contact us at host@thisweekinstarwars.com. Help us grow the community. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a positive review at iTunes. You've been listening to This Week in Star Wars. We troll the web so you don't have to.
This Week in Star Wars is not affiliated with Lucasfilm, its subsidiaries, or any other entity mentioned in this podcast. Star Wars, its characters, and creations are the property of Lucasfilm. All other trademarks are property of their respective trademark owners. This Week in Star Wars is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. This podcast is copyright 2010 This Week in Star Wars. Invaluable technical assistance provided by WebStorm Interactive. News, comments, and questions can be directed to host@thisweekinstarwars.com. More information, links to stories presented, past episodes, and additional contact information are available at www.thisweekinstarwars.com.
This show is terrible, and I'm really happy.